Hi everyone, happy November. It's Bree the Plant Lady here, and I wanted to do a little tour. It's a beautiful day. I have quickly realized that my motivation is directly linked to temperature and sunlight. So I do much better on days like this where I can be out in a dress getting things accomplished in the garden. We did have a light frost a few days ago, so the garden's looking a little more tattered than it used to, but that's good because that means it's time for me to start doing some seasonal change-outs. Okra production has slowed down considerably. However, the peppers haven't stopped, and I've been canning about 10 quarts a week, and I'll have at least that many more to do. These plants just keep growing. Now you can definitely see that the edge of my Crete basil or dwarf globe basil got nipped, as did the plectranthus and the coleus through here. But the salvias are looking great, and they are still, covered with bees. And overall, I'm gonna let this bed go a little while longer before I take a lawnmower to it and mow all of this biomass back down in place, and then I'll get it replanted for the winter season. I plan on doing a lot of different cool season vegetables and an impressive grain planting, specifically using barley and oats as clumps to give that ornamental grass appeal. This shrub border is one of my favorite parts of the Foodscape through the fall season, and that's because of all the different mums and Salvia leucantha and different beauty berries that just look so cool. That is a variety here called heavy berry, and it really has impressive berry set, but my favorite beauty berry is this one called acuminata, and you can see it has really dark berries. On my list of to-dos today is go plant shopping, and I'm really excited because I'm going to have the opportunity to take out those frosted coleus from the living wall and get it replanted for the cool season. So you'll have to stay tuned to watch how I replant it with vegetables that will grow all winter long. The south foundation border is looking fantastic still. This did not get nipped by frost, so everything is growing really well. The kufia, the papyrus, and especially the snail vine, which I think is just one of the coolest plants that I've grown this year. Everything along this border is doing well, including some of the cool season crops that I got planted early, things like Swiss chard. I'm staged and ready to start my overhaul with 2 big yellow bags of Soil Cube organic compost. And this border, one where I actually got the garlic in nice and early, you can see that edge of garlic that's essentially protecting all the plants that are growing behind it. I still have a lot of warm season things incorporated, including sweet potatoes and peppers. I won't remove these until we have a hard frost. Look at that broccoli. This is why I always encourage you to plant some cool season crops in mid-July from seed and get them put into the ground in August so that you'll have something like that to harvest right now. Yesterday I cleaned up the feed tank bed, and that is a driving force to go to a nursery and pick up some beautiful plants, including ornamental kales and violas, to be able to put into this bed so that it looks great through the winter season. I'm really excited to get this replanted, and of course it will have my signature garlic edge all the way around because this bed has a whole bunch of tulips, and it's the only way I can protect the tulips from getting eaten by the voles. The brugmansias are still blooming, and the Seminole pumpkins are absolutely still growing so well, absolutely everywhere. I've started harvesting. There's still a whole bunch of pumpkins out in the garden to harvest. They're really delicious, so I'm excited that I can eat these, and they last for a long time. All of these succulents will soon be going into the shed, and yes, that is the shed where I found the possum this morning. But the possum has been relocated to the woods. The biggest successes of 2020 have definitely been these 100-gallon root pouch grow bags filled with Soil Cube organic compost. And I'll show you these, which I set up in late August. Got these planted with broccoli from Home Depot, and I just can't believe how well everything is doing. I almost never have to water these because they're so big and they're filled with Soil Cube, so they retain moisture. I didn't have to fertilize at all, and just look at how healthy these plants are. I never want to garden without a 100-gallon root pouch filled with Soil Cube. That is the real lesson of 2020. So here in my behind the scenes workspace, which I very seldom put on tours because it's not really horticulturally interesting, is a really an amazing specimen of snow cream Edgeworthia. And this is one of my favorite plants because it's fragrant and it flowers in the middle of January. They look like little balls of sunshine. But the really funny thing about this is actually a plant that I rooted, and I'll dip you down here. It's actually in a container still. It's rooted through in this pot that I had planted it in. And of course, it's much too big. I certainly am not going to even attempt to transplant it, but I think it's so ironic that my healthiest Edgeworthia on my property is just growing through like a 2-gallon plastic pot. So there you have it. In contrast to that snow cream next to the shed, which is, rooted in a pot, this is my original snow cream. And last year it was severely damaged by an early cold snap. And in fact, I had to cut all of the original large stalks down. And you can see in here, they were a pretty big caliper that ended up getting pruned. But all of this has grown since I trimmed it down. And I do have flower buds on this, so this will give me some winter interest this year. So when in doubt, if a plant looks bad, go ahead and prune it down and let it reflush. So we meander through this fairly tight shrub border. I have some of my favorite plants in here, this variegated dogwood, and some of my prized collection of osmanthus. This is a hybrid called Jim Porter. And we make our way around, and another shrub that I adore is this Croton alabamensis. And this will eventually get really amazing fall color. The main reason you grow it, or the reason I love it, is because of this silvery back on its foliage. It's extraordinary in cut flower arrangements, and I love to incorporate these in my botanical art installations. The pseudo-larix is starting to go through its fall color change, and the needles will soon drop. I love deciduous conifers for this seasonal interest. My large clumps of sorghum are providing the birds with some organic bird seed, and I am ready to get this border replanted for the cool season. Thanks for watching this early November Foodscape tour. I hope you have a great day. Happy gardening!